Welcome to our introductory lesson on CCPA, the California Consumer Privacy Act. In the sphere of data privacy, CCPA is a major regulation shaping how organizations handle personal information. The California Consumer Privacy Act is a comprehensive data protection law enacted by California in November of 2020. Its primary aim is to enhance privacy rights and consumer protection for residents of California, ensuring their data is collected, processed, and stored with high security and transparency standards. This regulation impacts businesses within California and beyond, as long as they handle personal information of California residents. Now, why was the regulation introduced? The driving force behind the introduction of this landmark regulation was the mounting concerns over privacy violations and the mishandling of personal data. A pivotal event that catalyzed its creation was a major data breach at a prominent company where the personal information of millions of users was improperly accessed and exploited. This incident served as a wake-up call, highlighting the urgent need for robust measures to safeguard individuals' privacy and ensure responsible data practices. It aims to empower individuals with greater control over their personal data and places stringent obligations on organizations to safeguard that data. By doing so, it strives to build trust between consumers and companies, fostering a safer digital environment. Both GDPR and the California Protection Act share many similarities, such as their emphasis on transparency, data minimization, and robust security measures. Both regulations aim to protect personal data and give individuals greater control over their information, such as the right to be forgotten or right to delete. However, there are key differences. For instance, CCPA applies specifically to California residents and has unique provisions like the right to opt out of the sale of personal data. GDPR, on the other hand, applies to EU citizens and includes stricter consent requirements and broader definitions of personal data. Despite these differences, both regulations set high standards for data privacy and protection. Opting out has been one of the key components on CCPA. This means that individuals can request businesses to stop selling their personal data to third parties. Companies must provide a clear and accessible way for consumers to exercise this right, typically through a Do Not Sell My Personal Information link on their website. Once a consumer opts out, the business must comply with the request and cannot sell the consumer's data unless the consumer gives explicit permission to opt back in. The key principles of CCPA ensure organizations handle personal data responsibly. First, organizations must have a legal basis for processing personal data, ensuring lawful processing. Transparency is crucial. Clear communication about data collection, processing, and sharing practices must be maintained. Data minimization is another important principle, meaning only the necessary data for specified purposes should be collected. So, what is considered personal data under CCPA? Personal data includes any information that can identify a person, either directly or indirectly. This encompasses obvious identifiers like names, addresses, and phone numbers, as well as digital identifiers, such as IP addresses and device IDs. It also covers sensitive information like health data, biometric data, and more. Essentially, if the data can be linked to an individual, it falls under the regulation's scope. Organizations must ensure they have lawful grounds for processing personal data, often requiring explicit consent from individuals. Non-compliance with the regulation can result in significant penalties. The regulation imposes fines based on the severity of the breach, with maximum penalties reaching up to $7,500 per intentional violation. Understanding CCPA and its implications for your organization is the first step. However, achieving compliance requires a comprehensive approach, including implementing strong data protection measures and fostering a culture of data governance and privacy awareness.